Based on the crazy popularity of my video on Baltic jokes and the insane number of messages and contributions all of you made in the comment section, I feel like I should definitely make a follow-up video to compile all the additional material. With more jokes and explanations on the jokes I presented last, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the video. So let's just go over each country one at a time and focus on some of the more notable jokes that all of you put forward. We're going to start with Estonia, but each country is separated, so just click down below to skip ahead to Latvia or Lithuania. There were quite a few jokes that were similar or had slight variations, so I'll do my best to put them all together into something coherent. So let's start up north with Estonia. Poor Estonia. I think it was Estonia and Estonians that people had the most jokes for. And yes, almost all of these had to do with being slow. While one commenter said that the jokes were more about physical speed and not mental speed, I would disagree and say a lot of jokes were about mental speed too. Thankfully, I think none of the Estonians watching took anything too seriously, taking it all with a good sense of humor. It was also interesting to read from someone that Scandinavians do something similar too. Between Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, apparently Sweden is the dumb one. So if there are any Scandinavians out there watching this, please comment and let us know if this is actually a common thing. Okay, before I get too sidetracked, let's get back to Estonia. First, I'm going to do a quickfire session of some of the shorter jokes that people contributed. Ready? It's the third day as Estonia has invaded Latvia, and Estonian paratroopers are still hanging over Riga. In his lifetime, a true Lithuanian man must plant a tree, build a house, and raise a child. An Estonian man has to do at least one of these, if he's fast enough. A slight variation of this says an Estonian must at least think about these things during their lifetime. Next up, did you know that Estonians are so slow that if one stands in front of a mirror, it takes 5 to 10 minutes for the reflection to appear? A few people gave me this next one. Who's standing over there? No, they're not standing, it's just an Estonian running. One variation goes, 2 Latvians are talking. Look, it's an Estonian running. Nah, it's just a Lithuanian standing still. Next, up to 67% of the human body is made up of fluids. Up to 67% of an Estonian body is made of brake fluid. Again, a few people told me that the motto of the Estonian ambulance service is "Time heals all wounds." And here are 2 longer ones to wrap up this section. An Estonian sees a doctor and says to him, "Many times a day I experience darkness in front of my eyes for 5 to 10 minutes. When exactly does this happen?" the doctor asks. To which the Estonian responds, "Whenever I blink." And the last one goes like this. A group of 5 Latvians get to the Estonian border in an Audi Quattro. The Estonian border guard says, "Hey, the 5 of you can't enter Estonia while driving an Audi Quattro." The Latvians are shocked and ask why. The Estonian says, "Come on guys, it's obvious. Quattro in Latin means 4, and there are 5 of you. One of you has to get out." The Latvians demand to speak to the border guard's superior. The guard says, "No problem, but you guys need to wait. He's dealing with 3 Lithuanians who are trying to cross in a Fiat Uno." And so a few of you mentioned that the slow Estonian and Finn jokes actually come from Russia, and that they originate from the Soviet period. Apparently, it comes from the fact that Estonians spoke Russian really slowly. Some people say that this isn't actually the case anymore. So wrapping up this section, some of you say that Estonians are known for not being talkative. There were 2 jokes that combined not being talkative with being slow. The first one goes like this. 2 men work in the forest cutting trees. The whole day there is just silence except for the sound of tools. In the middle of the next day, one man asks, "How are you?" But the second man doesn't respond. On the third day, before starting work, the second guy drops all his stuff and says, "I quit, you're talking too much." Another shorter joke about the topic goes like this. How do you make an Estonian your friend? Well, you'll have to drink with him for about half a year. Again, I think Estonians took all of this with a good sense of humor, so thank you so much for that. But now I think it's time to move on to Latvians. So most of you confirmed that the 6-toed Latvian joke is quite a common one. Only one person said that Latvians have 6 toes because they are supposedly quite clumsy. However, a few people said that the joke comes from or is made common because of Latvian license plates, which are marked with LV. The joke is that LV stands for Lisavarvas, which means extra toe in Estonian. A few of you joked that Latvians having 6 toes isn't true and that they actually have 5 toes like everyone else. The only difference is that they have 4 in the front and 1 in the back. A variation on this was that they have 3 in the front and 2 in the back. And when it comes to Latvians being horseheads, you guys sure had a lot to say about it. First, there was no shortage of people correcting me on the language. I said žirga galvas, the way I think it would be in Lithuanian. But I guess Lithuanians would say it in Latvian as part of the joke. So, zirga galva. I hope I got it right this time. Then there were so many of you who were quick to inform me that the origin of zirga galva, or horsehead, comes from the shape of the Gulf of Riga, which, well, looks like a horsehead. Although someone disagreed, and instead claims that the name comes from ancient times when Latvian houses had a Umis symbol up on the roof, which looks a little bit like two horse heads. So which one do you think it is? Or is it both? All the Latvians out there, leave a comment and let me know. While I think Estonians have the most jokes about them, I think Latvians get off the easiest with just two main jokes. But when it comes to Lithuanians, there seems to be one overall theme, and it unfortunately seems to be heavily based in reality. So a Latvian said that Lithuanians are definitely joked about when it comes to cars. He says if you find your car welded badly with hidden rust, incomplete repairs, and the door made up of paint, filler, and Macroflex foam, then Lithuanians were probably responsible for the repairs. Someone else joked that if you wreck your car and send it to the scrapyard, it'll probably get sent to Lithuania, where it will be magically yet poorly repaired in a few weeks. It will also be sold with less mileage than before, with a note saying, "Never crashed, perfect condition." Another person says that if you were to tell a joke about a car thief in Norway, there's a good chance that the thief in the joke would also be Lithuanian. I guess Lithuanians have really developed a reputation for stealing and poorly repairing cars. Someone says that, unfortunately, the jokes are too closely tied to reality and that Lithuanian car thieves are still a big problem. Another person adds that their coworker bought a car in Lithuania and tried to register it in Latvia. Unfortunately, the police confiscated it because they discovered it was a stolen vehicle. All of this makes a really good point about the dangers of buying used cars in Lithuania. Even when I was making a video about it, the Lithuanian guy I talked to really wanted to emphasize the dangers of buying used cars in the country, and he instead suggested shopping outside of the country if they could. Apparently, hidden and unreported damage and rolled back mileage are pretty common scams here, so it's something to be really careful about, all jokes aside. Despite the unfortunate reality of Lithuania's used car situation, at least people can joke about it. Hopefully over time, it will become more of a joke and less of reality. But I think that's about it for my second video about Baltic jokes. A few people mentioned that Lithuanian jokes about Poland and Polish people should be covered. At the moment, I'm undecided about this, and I think I need to do more research. My gut instinct tells me that the jokes are more negative and just anti-Polish. While jokes about Estonians are more lighthearted and well-received, I'm worried that Polish jokes have a little more condescension and discrimination in them. But that's just my sense at the moment. So if you're Polish or Lithuanian and watching this, maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong or right. But anyways, that's it for another video on Baltic jokes. As I mentioned in the other video, it really does feel like the jokes among the Baltic countries are light and fun, and the three countries are quite friendly and united. This was echoed many times in the comment section too, and I hope we can keep it that way. And with all of that said, thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time.